ओए था कोई दिसता जा मौती कश्मीर की इंडिया
I wish we could again say good evening to you, but it's a tough night. It is a tough night because at one point where all of us remember actually believe that this is that one moment that's going to unite all of us as a country, and perhaps Netas will stop being Netas, will just be citizens. And they will speak for all of us, they will speak for all our security. They have let us down. I want to begin this edition of the News Night, ladies and gentlemen, by looking at these two pictures that you see both on my right and my left. Now, there is a reason why you're seeing both these pictures together. On one side is not just what has happened as far as the attack is concerned. There are still a lot of these videos coming in, and agencies are trying to connect the dots and still try to point out who's behind what happened. Who are those who provided overground support to these people? And we as a country have to stay united. We have to speak as one. Remember the all-party meeting that made us believe everyone is on the same side, the side of truth, the side of India, the side of the victims? But today we are wrong, because on the other side are not just these images of this all-party meeting. That was just a charade. Because today I have a list of at least half a dozen Netas cutting across political quarters who are giving some bit of cover fire to Pakistan. You heard that right. There are still Netas in the country, in spite of 26 innocent lives that have been lost, who are wanting to give cover fire right now to Pakistan. This gentleman that you see there on your screens, his name is Vijay Vedettiwar. He's a Congress MLA from the state of Maharashtra. Do you know what he said? Remember, there is this entire conversation, and there is enough evidence of a lot of people who were at the receiving end who said that we were targeted based on our religion. Now, we don't know whether that is factually right or not, but how does this man know? Because he says that they, as in the government, is saying that the terrorists kill people after asking their religion. And then this man says, and it's difficult to believe, but this is just him, I'm quoting him. He says, do terrorists have time for this? Really? And he's a Congress Neta. There is another image I want you to see of a very, very seasoned politician. His name is Saifuddin Soos. He's operated in the valley for the longest time, and he, for everyone, will understand what does an ordinary Kashmiri go through. He's been a former union minister. And this man says, ladies and gentlemen, that if Pakistan is saying it's not behind this, accept it. Accept it, he says. He says, still our agencies find it otherwise. Let's learn to accept that Pakistan possibly could just be right. I want to bring another image, and I'm just taking some bit of your time because all these names, all these faces are important. Before I let you listen in to what they've said one by one, on the left of your screens, we also have more images of not just a lot of preparedness, but today, remember, has been a big day because India and France today have inked a Rafale M deal. And many say that this is also just the beginning of a lot more stuff that is possibly expected in the next few weeks to next few days. But this man, let's talk about him. His name is Tariq Hamid Kara. He's the Jammu and Kashmir Congress chief, ladies and gentlemen. And this man says, let's go back to talks. Let's talk to Pakistan. It's hard to believe, but these are real Netas. These are real Netas. The same Netas who want to tell us that they care for all of us. They care for our security because they are concerned. Now, just take the next 1 minute, that is just about 60 seconds of your time, to actually find out who really is a bigger enemy. At a point where the entire country wants to ensure that there is that perfect punishment for Pakistan, why are these people wanting to give cover fire today to Pakistan and the rogue elements? Sit back and watch.
If Pakistan says that it is not involved, let us accept that argument for a time. And we shall ultimately go by our investigating agencies. And they will know better.
ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಪರ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಶಾಂತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಜನರಿಗೆ ಭದ್ರತೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಭದ್ರತಾ ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೋಬೇಕು.
बात क्या करते हैं तो उन्होंने हिंदू का पूछ कर मारा. अरे कोई टेररिस्ट को पूछने तक समय होता है क्या?
हमारी गुजारिश दोनों सरकारों से यही होगी कि थोड़ा सा इस वक्त दे मस्ट कीप देयर कूल.
So he wants people to keep their cool. And there is one name that I just missed, that is Siddaramaiah, the Karnataka Chief Minister, who also said this is not the time to go for a war with Pakistan. So much for national security. Let's quickly introduce our panel of guests without wasting time. It's a pleasure and an honor to have Lieutenant General Satish Duaji, who's a former Chief of the Integrated Defence Staff, the former GOC of 15 Corps, joining us. Also the man, the real hero behind the surgical strike that you saw after Uri. We also have Tilak Devasharji, member of the National Security Advisory Board. And gentlemen, with your permission, because this is absolutely about putting our Netas on the mat, making them accountable, I want to introduce both our political representatives also on the show. Mohan Kumaramangalam is the national spokesperson of the Congress, and Shazia Ilmi is the national spokesperson of the BJP. Mohan, let's begin by asking you, do you agree with what Siddaramaiah says? Do you agree with what Saifuddin Soz says? Do you agree with Tariq Hamid Kara? Do you agree with Vijay Vedetivar?
I don't agree with any of them, and not only me. I think
then why are they still a part of your party? Why are they still a part of the Congress? Why haven't you sacked them?
If you let me finish what I have to say.
No, there is nothing to finish. You don't agree with it. I don't understand. How can they still be a part of the Congress party?
To talk over me, I leave. If you've got me here to just talk over me and berate me, I'll leave right now. Unless you let me finish what I have to say.
No, it doesn't. No, there is nothing to finish. I don't understand. What is there to finish?
If you're not going to let me finish my point, I'm not going to be on the show.
No, I don't understand. This is not about a grey area. You are either there or you are not there, right? Either the Congress agrees or either the Congress does not agree. You can't sit here and defend them. See what happens. The moment you ask them tough questions, they decide to walk away. But let me use this opportunity to put out the straight questions. And ladies and gentlemen, it's important to unmask all of them, because the Congress party earlier today has put out a statement saying all these statements have been made in their quote-unquote personal capacity. What is a personal capacity? As long as you're a part of a party, you need to be accountable. This is our first straight question. One voice or pointing fingers? What is important? And what is it that Netas can do? Why is it so difficult to speak in one voice? Our second straight question again, that's going to go up on your screens in just a moment. And this is again something that you see at the end of every terror attack. Apologies for Pak terror. Remember they said proof dikhaiye? Proof dikhaiye. You don't have the proof means we haven't done anything vis-a-vis Pakistan. Why? Because you do not agree with the current government. But then this is not about the government, it's about the country. This brings us to our third straight question again. That's going to go up on your screens. And that reads, does it weaken the fight against Pak terror? Is it not important for us to stay united to respond in one voice? And when you walk out of a show like that, what does that mean? I think that is for the Congress party now to defend. Is the Congress party, ladies and gentlemen, in chaos, or is this a strategy? That's a question the Congress only can answer. We don't have an answer to that question because we are baffled. This brings us to our fifth straight question. Different voices. The moment you have different voices, you have Pakistani media that starts quoting these statements. Does this not embolden Pakistan? Now, Shazia, because we've had the Congress spokesperson just walking out of the show, within seconds, that is the patience level. Tell me one thing, Shazia, is it so important to speak of the Congress, the opposition all the time, or is it still important that we just stay united and our focus should be on responding to Pakistan?
Of course, that's what our focus should be. But all the statements that have been made by the opposition, so to speak, Congress or Akhilesh Yadav or Siddaramaiah, who's part of the Congress, and I'm talking about Congress CM, Congress ministers, Himachal Pradesh, Agriculture Minister, Revenue Minister, Karnataka government again, Saifuddin Soz and others, they all actually emboldened the Pakistanis, because I have been on several shows and this is what they're quoting. What they are saying is exactly what they said during surgical strikes, that what is the evidence? When your own people, when the senior leaders in your own country are asking for evidence, surely you should know better. So this is what we have to deal with when we actually exchange in any kind of disagreeable manner at this point of time. with any participant, so to speak, at any capacity from Pakistan. This is exactly what we have to contend with. And just listen to this. Everybody wants to give advice to India. So Indian leaders want to give advice to India on foreign policy, on military action, whether we should have it or not. And I think it's so unbecoming, not just unbecoming, it's just reprehensible, because this is exactly what's used. And at this point
Shazia,
of time,
tell me something. Though you know, Mohan has decided to walk away from the show, and he sent a message to our team here saying that, you know, we weren't given an opportunity to speak. But tell me something, is right now our focus on dealing with Pakistan or the opposition? I mean, why does even the BJP want to give opposition an handle right now? Forget the opposition. Forget the opposition. People will decide what they need to do about the opposition like that, or about, you know, whenever they want to be looking at a next election. But right now, why is our focus not just on Pakistan? And if there are questions being raised on an intelligence failure, on some preparedness, Shazia, is the BJP willing to tackle those questions maybe at another time?
No, I don't think one thing is exclusive. They are both mutually exclusive. And I don't think we will leave any stone unturned. You just see what we're working on, whether it's Indus Water Treaty or cutting down of diplomatic relations and bringing out to a bare minimum the presence of Pakistan in the consulates, or it's or other measures that we have taken in terms of visas. We are very strong and we have resolved to fight it out.
A lot of people say that is not good enough. That is not good enough because Pakistan is testing our patience again and again. Allow me a moment. Now let me get in both Tilak ji and General Satish Dua, both on the show. I want to get a question with General Satish Dua, if that is possible, because he's been looking at a lot of these things. So, sir, it's an honor and a pleasure that you're with us here on Newsnight. Thank you so much for your time. You are one of our real heroes. And, you know, I've heard a lot of your personal accounts speaking about what happened post-Uri. Tell me something, sir, when you see what has happened now, when you see the response, what is your assessment of how far can India go?
Well, the real heroes of this Uri surgical strike were the Special Forces commandos who risked their lives, went across at multiple locations and executed a daring operation across the borders. As to what our response should be, I think the response cannot be only military. The response has to be diplomatic, economic, and military, amongst other things. A very bold response has already been rolled out in diplomatic terms. Especially if you look at the Indus Water Treaty being suspended, that is something that is going to really, really hurt Pakistan. As we are already seeing, the rumblings have started within their country, how people are sort of rising up against it, how everyone is troubled. Punjab, that is Punjab in Pakistan, is likely to be turned into a desert if water doesn't reach there in good amounts. It's already grappling with water shortages. Having said that, there are other aspects to it, to only not the water, about the data, about the meteorological data, about the flow of the water being controlled or not, and things like that. On the other hand, a slew of other diplomatic measures have already been announced. Economic. This water leverage alone will turn into an economic debacle for an already beleaguered nation. As far as economics is concerned, Pakistan is in its lowest spot ever. Now, as to the military response, in Uri, they killed 18 soldiers. The terrorists killed 18 soldiers. Yes. And we launched a strike across the border at multiple locations. It was a shallow strike, a few kilometers. When Pulwama happened, we lost 40 CRPF jawans. The country launched a very bold precision airstrike deep inside the enemy territory. But this time round, when they have killed innocent civilian tourists who belong to the whole of the country, they come from all of different parts of the country, and the Prime Minister has announced unequivocally that not only the terrorists, we will also hit out at the entire ecosystem of terrorism that exists across the border.
Absolutely. I think that's a fair point that you make, and I will let Tilak Devasharji push that point a little further, sir, before I come back to you and also get Shazia into this conversation. Tilak Devasharji, when you hear what has been said so far as the political establishment is concerned, one thing is clear, that Pakistan has been put on the mat. But Pakistan has also been trying our patience. And when you hear a lot of this chatter, within political parties here, who today should be speaking as one, as someone who's been a member of the National Security Advisory Board, what is your one advice that you would want to give to all of them who speak out of turn? None of them goes to the border, none of them does anything when it comes to national security, but just play politics.
I wouldn't dare to give advice to politicians. I, in fact, don't comment on internal, and I don't like doing shows when politicians are there, because they have their own job cut out for them. But I'll answer the other part of your question.
Sir.
You see, there's outrage in India. There is anger and deep outrage in India because, for one thing, the tourists came from all over the country. So like in the case of Pulwama, because the CRPF was from different states, again the anger was palpable. Today it's the same thing. People are appalled at the killing itself of innocent people and the manner in which the killing was done. They made it into a communal killing. And that, I think, has really outraged people. And I think the Prime Minister has very well articulated the outrage that the people of India are feeling. There's a very strong statement that he made in Bihar. So now and the government is, first of all, within 24 hours, first slew of non-kinetic measures. And I think holding the Indus-Water Treaty in abeyance was actually a masterstroke. It's not a knee-jerk reaction. I think a lot of work has been done on the Indus-Water Treaty. You would recall that in 2023, India had written to Pakistan wanting to review the Indus-Water Treaty. It was again reiterated in 24. So a lot of work on the Indus-Water Treaty had already been done. Now, Pakistan was not expecting this. Pakistan had presumed, especially the Army Chief Asim Munir, he thought that, like in the case of Uri, like in the case of Pulwama, India will react militarily, which could be contained, could be managed. But in the process, the Pakistan army and everybody, the population would rally behind the army, and he would become popular again. They were not expecting non-kinetic measures, especially not holding the Indus-Water Treaty in abeyance. Pakistan has become, over the last few decades, a water-stressed country. It is in danger of becoming an absolute water-scarce country. Therefore, any disruption in water supplies, especially the timing of the water supplies, if it doesn't come on time, if the crops need the second watering, we need the third watering. If water does not come at that time, that entire crop will get wasted. So this is what is worrying the people in Punjab and in Sindh, that if this is what happens, then what is going to be the fate of Pakistan? So I think when the Prime Minister mentioned, the kind of consequences that Pakistan will have to face, it's going to be something like this. Now, on top of this, if you add also the kinetic measures, which a lot of work is being done, and I'm sure government will do what they have to do in the time of their own and the place of their own choosing. So you can imagine the double whammy that's going to hit Pakistan.
I think you make a fair assessment, but I do not know whether this is enough to rattle or teach Pakistan a lesson. I mean, I'm sure we hold the same opinion. Shazia, I know you want to come in. Just allow me a few seconds, because I'm told Syed Abbas is also with us. And because we've seen the official Congress spokesperson walking out, Abbas, I will ask you the same question that I asked the Congress party. Siddaramaiah, Vijay Vedettiwar, Saifuddin Soos. I mean, are these comments that should be made today, and the Congress simply say that we distance ourselves? These are comments made in personal capacity, really?
I think, Deeptiji, it is quite clear. I think on the day of the all-party meeting, Shri Rahul Gandhi ji did make it clear. He made a very categorical statement, keeping India in mind, keeping this beautiful nation in mind.
No, if Rahul Gandhi kept India in mind that day, Abbas, why today is Saifuddin Soos, why is Siddaramaiah, why is Vijay Vedettiwar not keeping India in mind?
So
I mean, you can't keep changing your positions. If you stand with the country, you stand with national security, you do that, period.
Ma'am, firstly, it's not even 10 seconds that I started to speak. You are interfering
Abbas,
me.
that is not the
Do not
point,
interfere.
please. We have
Do not
seen a
interrupt.
rerun of this politics again and again and again. And like I said, we are losing patience. We want answers. We want safety. We don't want politics.
So, ma'am, please allow me to complete my point. I have come on the request of your team last minute.
I know
like
that.
A minute
I know
back.
that, and I
So
appreciate
allow me,
that. Yes,
so
go on.
therefore, allow and appreciate my time. If you do not allow me to speak, I am happy
It
to
is
leave
not
the show.
personal, Abbas. Don't make it personal. Tell
Allow
me
to
what should the
speak.
Congress be
Allow
doing?
me
Give an
to
advice to the
speak,
Congress.
ma'am. Allow me to speak, ma'am, or don't invite me to your show, ma'am.
Okay, tell me what is the advice you want to give to the Congress?
I don't think Congress, BJP, TMC, or any party of India or the world need my advice. I am here to make my point as an analyst. I stand with India, and I believe whatever my country decides, my Prime Minister decides, whatever this government decide, we will abide by it. What Sidramaya has said here, there is no need for a war. He said they just need to take strong measures to ensure security. We are not here for war. There should be peace and security. Center should take step towards this. Karnataka Chief Minister has said this. But what has been the statement which is sacrosanct of the Congress party is what Mallikarjun Kharge, who's the AICC president, and also Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, who said that we stand with the government, we stand with the people, no politics on this front, and whatever.
No, Abbas,
the
if their own
government
leaders
decides,
are not
that will
listening
be
to them, how do
sacrosanct.
they expect the country to even listen to them? I don't understand. I mean, you can't be running with the hare, hunt with the hound. No, tell me this is their personal comment. Allow them to play politics, get away with this without any costs involved. Shazia, I know you want to come in. Please just bear with me. I want to get General Satish Dua.
I will tell you. I will tell you. When
wait.
26.
Okay,
when
Shazia,
26,
respond quickly to what you heard. Shazia goes first.
So first of all, I'd like to say, we know what happened when Hamas struck, and that was 7th of October, 2 years back. We know what happened when the terror struck at the heart of America, when the Twin Towers collapsed and imploded after what happened. And you just see how the country, the parties, Israel has many parties, of course. They're Republicans and Democrats in the US, and everybody rallied around. Everybody was together. Wherever this happens, India is one unique democracy in that sense. I mean, I agree with parties having a different stance, but at this point of time, I think we all should have been together. And as far as Indus Water Treaty is concerned and it being held in abeyance, I mean, whether it's 65 or 71 or 99 or 2016 or 2019, India has been provoked enough but has never touched the agreement. And all the opposition could have done is studied and understood what is being done at India's end diplomatically and on different fronts, and then commented and being together with the government at this point of time.
Okay, maybe, Shazia, today is not the time to ask those questions. I agree, but questions must be asked because accountability has to be fixed. I mean, that is also equally true. I want to get in General Satish Dua, who's been very patiently waiting. General Satish Dua, tell me another thing, sir. When you look at what, the situation in Pakistan is, it is dealing with an internal turmoil. Balochistan already is an issue. POK is again, ours is what our stated position has been umpteen number of times. There are internal rumblings when it comes to the deep state. Do you think Pakistan today can even deal with the might of India? And how do you see this story going ahead in the next few days?
It is true that Pakistan is in a state of utter confusion, if not chaos. And there are rumblings against the deep state. If you look at social media, the kind of Pakistan social media, the kind of things they are putting out, it is hilarious, but it's also very serious. Now, what we should do, India should do, is we must keep up the diplomatic pressure, keep isolating Pakistan globally. And that's already begun. We need to keep the pressure on Pakistan as far as all these other diplomatic and economic instruments are concerned. And as they have started, we need to continue to maintain pressure on the LOC because Pakistan has started violating the ceasefire.
Yes.
So we need to retaliate in full measure and beyond. And that's already happening.
All right, we'll see how the story moves from there. Gentlemen, all of you and Shazia, I want to thank you for your time. Only because I am running out of time, Shazia. Apologies. Tilakji also, I'm not able to come back to you, but we'll continue to keep our focus on that story. It's also time for us to get you News Nights parting shot now. What are certain things that are absolutely clear? That accountability has to be fixed, and it will be fixed is also what we know for a fact. Because this cannot be business as normal. Questions must be asked, and this is where the opposition actually follies. Is this the time to ask questions? Is this the time to play politics? We say this is no time for politics. So if what Rahul Gandhi said at the end of that all-party meeting is right, this is not a time for dialogue, as a lot of Congress Netas today say. This is also not a time to give a handle to Pakistan and get quoted in the Pakistani media and, give Pakistan a free run. This is not that time also. And this is what the opposition needs to remember. But let's come back to what India has said so far. The Prime Minister said, we'll pursue the terrorists to the ends of the earth. Ends of the earth are those operative words. Earth is also mitti, and that is where he said mitti mein mila denge. So the opposition must hold the government accountable to that promise that they have made, that we will track, we will identify, and we will act against them. But it's important today at this point, when we are still grieving, when a lot of families still today have no answers to why their loved ones are no longer there with them, that India speaks as one. And clearly, like I said, no time for politics. The Congress has walked out of the show, but maybe they can go back and figure out if this is the best response to being asked questions. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.